but I know we're talking about Tony Khan sort of closing the gap on WWE. I don't know what else he's supposed to say in situations like that. I mean, he's here to do a PR tour for his company. He's got to wave his flag, doesn't he?
For sure. But I feel like there's something that's so easy to kind of dissect and kind of prove to be mostly untrue. I just kind of stay away from those statements because it does cause more of a discussion online of whether or not that's true, and you get a lot of people just laughing at that statement. Whereas, saying other stuff to promote your company doesn't. I don't know. I get he's a promoter that's promoting, and saying that does sound good in media to people that probably don't pay attention.
Well, let me play devil's advocate there, Raj. Like hypothetically, if he's doing an interview and he's here to do media, right? Is he supposed to say, "Oh man, we really got our asses kicked this year. We got to get our shit together"? Like, how do you you can't say that. So, I think you've got to try to put a happy face on. Even when WCW was not necessarily the number one company, Eric had to go on TV and say, "We're the number one show." Blah blah blah. Like that's hype man stuff, right, Eric?
Look, did I do that? Sure. Particularly early on when, we were just a small little company that could, and we're a distant number two. I went way over my skis, trying to get attention. But here's what I learned, in some cases, the hard way. And I live by this today. It's almost a fault of mine now, is you can't afford to lose your credibility. When it comes to business, you can, if somebody doesn't like your opinion and doesn't like the way you dress, you don't like the way you look.
I don't like you. I don't like anybody in this book.
What the hell was that? I lost my train of thought with that interruption. I thought somebody was yelling at me. I've learned anyway, you can't afford to lose your credibility by saying things that sound good to people that don't know any better. Well, those people don't matter either in terms of your future. They're fans, they're viewers, that part matters. But when the industry, people who make decisions, look at your company, look at the numbers that you currently have. Now, we're talking about this in the context of renegotiating a deal or finding another home. When the people that do matter, who do follow this stuff, see the guy that's running the company go out and just, it's not subtle. It's comedy to people that know. That's where it's bad for your brand. And that's where I agree with Raj. You can't do that. And here, I'll take it even a step further. And I've said this before on podcasts. I've said it in social media. Dave Meltzer's ridiculously obsessive support to the point of delusion of Tony Khan and AEW has done more to hurt that brand than help it. And then when you put these kind of comments in on top of that, just look at any of the comments on either one of those timelines when they make these statements. It's just overwhelming. It just doesn't help you.
And Conrad, to your point, I agree with you. Like if Tony was asked like how they're faring against WWE, that would be a something to bring up. You bring up where you're stronger or where you feel like you're stronger. But in this particular case, that wasn't the case. He just brought it up while speaking about something else. So that's where I feel like the difference is. But yeah, I agree with you that if he was asked specifically about WWE, then yeah, he probably should, say things like that to, accentuate the positives.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's promoter 101, accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. Let's talk about some other positives that happened this week in the TV biz. A big announcement, Eric, and I know people want to hear what you have to say about this. TNA is going to AMC. So Thursdays are now for TNA. It's Thursday Night Impact. It starts the middle of January. AMC, of course, has never dipped their toe in the water with a real professional wrestling show. That's not to say that they haven't run specials here and there. We all know that they've done that for decades, but this is not something I necessarily expected, Eric. What do you make of this TNA on AMC?
I think I predicted it. Not necessarily AMC. That caught me by surprise. But I think about 6 or 8 months ago, I suggested something to the effect that, I think that they will get a TV deal. I think they got it sooner. I think I predicted 2026. They got it sooner than that, and good for them. It's a big step up for them. It's a great opportunity for them. And I'm seeing it already. Carlos Silva is saying the right things. He's saying the right things. He's, for a wrestling conversation, baby facing his way into this and maintaining a positive, supportive, he's not here to be the number one wrestling company in the world. We're just going to save the wrestling world and all that other happy, wrestling online bullshit. He's coming in knowing, he's not even the underdog because he's not in competition. Now, the fact that he's, got a partnership with him is part of that. But I mean, even from a positioning point of view, I think he's going to come in. He's going to maintain. And what I'm really saying, he's doing a great job of keeping the expectations low. This is where Tony messed up. Tony messed up by setting the bar so high, and he hit it until he didn't. And then the audience is disappointed immediately. Whereas if you manage, and that's an art form too, is managing the audience's expectation while you're continuing to grow it. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. Promise and make sure you overdeliver, and do it incrementally over time. Don't try to do it in 6 months or 1 year or one night, right? Make the little adjustments, find out how and why, as we talked about with using, the roster that they currently have to tweak the demos up where they need them to be. That's how you produce television. That's different than putting together matches that, you or your existing fan base even really want to look forward to or see. Yeah, you have to do that, but that's not how you grow your business.
Hey everybody, so by now you've heard me bragging about saving people money at savewithconrad.com for years, but I thought, you know what? Don't take my word for it. Let's ask someone who really did save with Conrad. Let's welcome in Tyrus. Tyrus, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, Conrad. How about yourself?
Man, I'm delighted to talk to you. I got to ask, what made you come to Save with Conrad originally?
Well, first, I'm a return shopper, if you will. I was listening to the podcast years ago now with you and Bruce, and I just figured we were in the mode for a refinance, and I heard you guys save money, so I called you guys, got hooked up with Jimmy way back then, and that's really how the ball started to roll.
So initially you were interested in lowering your monthly payments, or did you want to knock out some credit card debt, or what was your goal the first time you went to savewithconrad.com?
It was mostly just to get the lower rate, but there's a little bit of credit card debt in there too, so we rolled that all up.
And you got a cheaper monthly payment on the other side of that?
Yeah, yep. And with this time that I used, it saved me quite a bit a month. Yeah.
So let's talk about what brought you back to Save with Conrad. First of all, thank you for using us not once, but twice. I appreciate that. But that was your needs back then. When was that? Was that 2020 that you did that before?
Yeah, it was around that, maybe 2019, somewhere around that.
Okay. So now a few years later, your needs have changed. What prompted you to go to savewithconrad.com this time?
Well, we were looking to refinance once again because we bought during the high rate time. And we had, a little bit of credit card debt, and we thought, why not hit that refinance button? And originally, we were thinking, why not just go through the national brand that was servicing our loan? I called one of them over there, and he crunched the numbers, and he said, no can do. Sorry. And then I thought, I'll just stay with Conrad again. And I called, and the delightful Frances answered, and you know her.
Oh, yeah.
And the first thing after I told her what the national brand said, she just said, are they stupid? We can save you money. And she got the ball rolling. I worked with OG Larry and saving $425 a month.
All right. I love to hear that, man. $425 a month. I love that, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
If you had someone who was on the fence, because I know that there's a lot of people who just know me as the wrestling podcaster, but if you had someone who listens to my pods and they're on the fence about whether or not this is a real service and can he really do this? I mean, what would you say to that?
Absolutely do it. It worked for me multiple times, from Jimmy way back when to Francis and Larry. It just, the whole team, they just had nothing but great things to say. They're easy to work with. They worked well with the inspectors and everything like that. It's just a great experience, and I would recommend it to anybody.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to help save you some money, and I would be delighted if we could help save you and your family some money. Do what Tyrus did. Go right now to savewithconrad.com. You can talk to a live person, get a quick quote, or just drop us an email directly at conrad@savewithconrad.com. And of course, we can still do it the old school way. Give us a call toll free at 888-425-0105. Thanks for all the time today, Tyrus. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Conrad.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.